the next speaker. But before inviting him onto the stage, I would like the team to play NAP, please.
From the bustling city of Madras, India, rose a beacon of valor and indomitable spirit, Colonel Krishnaswami. In the fierce crucible of the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, where the fate of a nation hung in the balance, Colonel Krishnaswami, leading C Company of the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, orchestrated a critical ambush on the Jaideopur Dhaka road, leading to the enemy's surrender. For his exceptional bravery and leadership, Colonel Krishnaswami was awarded the Veer Chakra, India's third highest wartime gallantry honor. The CADD Centre Group is honored to welcome Colonel Krishnaswami, a gallant soldier, a tactical leader, a living embodiment of patriotism and the pride of India.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in my speech yesterday, I spoke a little bit about the young and youthful Colonel Krishnaswami at 87 years old, right? When we were conceiving this conference, so we had a team of 14, 15 people working together to decide what will be most valuable for each and every one of you. And one of the things, I said two things. One is I said, whatever we do, we have to aim for world class, right? So like how Bala said, think for the future. We said we have to be absolutely world class, and therefore we need to have someone who has achieved world standard. And yesterday you had Rubina Francis, who is an Olympian, right? And then the next one I said is that we need to hear from someone how to serve the country and how to keep the country's interests at the foremost, right, when you build our business. And that's why we are designed in India and innovate in India. And who better than Colonel Krishnaswami to talk about his journey and his sign of the war. I think he has served 4 wars, and you will hear him speak, and we will feel a little bit ashamed about ourselves. Looking at his energy. May I welcome you, sir, please. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a pleasure to be with you all. I've seen the illustrious speaker. I want to know whether I come anywhere near him. And there must be several of you like that. Today I've come here not to teach you or tell you something which is professional in your field of entrepreneurship and all those things. Then I'm going to come give a little break for you. I think so. I think an old man, young at heart, he told me I'm 87 years old, I'm 87 years young. That is why I have declined to use the chair. I would much rather stand and narrate, and I got no papers in front of me. I'm going to speak my heart out. Today, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the usual way I'm introduced. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, but that's business. I'm going to narrate you a recording of mine, my own recording, in which I have introduced myself, who the hell I am. So I would like to know, and this is the first time I'm trying it out. So again, entrepreneurship perhaps. So let me see whether it works. Okay, it works. So I'll try it out. If it doesn't, my volume is quite good. I'm Colonel Krishnaswami. And my greetings to you. Can you hear? This 15th year Swarna Jayanti celebrations of our historic victory in the Indo-Pak War of 1971. It is my proud privilege to narrate the battle action in which our battalion, 10 Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, successfully played its assigned role on 15th of December 1971. It was the penultimate day of the surrender of 93,000 Pakistani forces that resulted in the creation of Bangladesh on 16th of December 1971. A raid, an ambush, a roadblock are all infantry operations requiring a high degree of stealth, secrecy, and surprise. The troops must be highly motivated, possess an element of daredevilry, and remember the adage, without pity, fear, or remorse, Berham, Bedar, Bepasha. It's because it's either you or him. 50 years ago, fortune smiled on me as the company commander of C Company, 10 Jack Rifles. In the race to reach Dhaka first, my company was detailed to lay an ambush roadblock on the Jaipur-Dhaka road. After a series of defeats, the Pakistani troops were on the run. To delay our chase, they destroyed the bridge across the Turag River near Tangale. Undeterred, my fully armed Charlie company stealthily crossed the river, went behind the enemy defensive positions, and laid the ambush roadblock in the hours of darkness without his knowledge. We were wet, covered with slush, and yet everyone was charged up and rearing for that opportunity for direct confrontation to spring surprise and cause maximum damage. Our patience in our hastily prepared defenses paid dividends. We were waiting to surprise the withdrawing enemy in a location that we perhaps would have never expected. Early morning on 14-15 December, the first catch of 3 loaded ammunition vehicles and some troops fell in our trap. The second attempt to break our cordon was by a speeding jeep driven by an officer, also met the same fate. At daybreak, we were fully exposed, but were determined to hold ground and fight it out. The third attempt with 2 tanks leading was more aggressive. They planned to rush through and break the roadblock and accomplish their aim to reinforce the defenses of the capital Dhaka. The battle lasted till 3 p.m. We thwarted their attempts with overwhelming firepower, determined troops, and strong motivation. Repulsed 3 assaults by Pakistani troops. Our mission was accomplished as 4 Pakistani officers, 11 JCOs, and 315 other ranks surrendered as prisoners as they suffered a large number of casualties. On 16th of December 1971, the victorious Indian Armed Forces entered Dhaka and they recorded a hero's welcome by the population to the cries of Joy Bangla. I attribute our success entirely to the fighting spirit of my company, their faith in my leadership, and upholding the motto of my regiment, Prashasta Ranveerta, meaning valor in battle is praiseworthy. I dedicated the award of Veer Chakra conferred on me by the President of India to the 2 brave hearts of my company, Havildar Mohinder Singh and Last Nagar Bansla, who sacrificed their lives during the action for our success and glory. Jai Tenacious 10, Jai Hind. Right, I don't need the phone anymore, so I'll talk from my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, today, as I told you right in the beginning, this is going to be a little break for you so that you can ask a large number of questions, and I earmark some time, more time, to your asking questions rather than my monologue. My monologue is good, all right, but I don't know how many of you are interested in the detailed aspects of warfare. So I'll give it to you in broad terms only. 1971 war was thrust on us in the sense that then government was forced to take action, and the armed forces played a very significant role. I meant Army, Navy, and the Air Force played a very significant role in this 1971 war. Some of you, most of you, I would say, probably were not even born at that time. So therefore, I'm giving you a little background. Pakistan had lost the elections, and a Bengali person called Sheikh Mujibur Rahman party won the majority. The Punjabi politics and the Punjabi crowd in Lahore area did not want a Bengali to rule their country. So therefore, they staged a coup, a military coup, and ousted him. An elected person was ousted, and a military rule was established in East Bengal. Refugees started pouring in millions, and the pressure was being felt by the bordering states, Assam, West Bengal, Manipur, Tripura. All these states were facing tremendous difficulties. Indira Gandhi was at loggerheads with all the people concerned to say, we don't want these refugees, let them. But humanitarian aspects came into play, and we had to accept the refugees. It was a tremendous financial strain. So we could not bear it any further. Public opinion was against us because of the politics again. The international politics was also against us. Countries like USA, UK, France, all these people would not support us. The only person who supported us at that time was Russia, who came to our rescue. All sorts of things happened to build up public opinion and also international opinion. Our ministers, prime minister, etc., had to go all a whirlwind trip to convince the problem that is being faced by India, both financial and also security problems. Now, to cut the story short, on 3rd of December, the war was initiated and started by Pakistan. They bombarded all our forward bases. In the meanwhile, our Indian Armed Forces, which had patiently waited for all this under General Sam Manekshaw, the outstanding general of the Indian Armed Forces, took charge. And Madam Indira Gandhi, who was in Calcutta, was rushed back to Delhi. And on the 4th of December, war was declared. First time war was declared because our forward bases were all bombarded. Delhi was within their beach, but it was prevented by our radar systems. Now, I'll cut the story short again. That is thanks to the fact that General Sam Manekshaw told very categorically to Indira Gandhi, saying that I am not ready for the war if you ask me to go to war now. That is in the month of April. A military commander telling the Prime Minister, and that too of the stature of Indira Gandhi, to say I am not ready, it is a big shock. That is because he had guts, and he told them categorically why he cannot win the war. He said, I am not fighting the war to fight it. I am fighting the war to win it for you. And if you want me to win, you will not win. You will fight the war on my terms. You don't tell me when I should go, because nothing is in favor of us. The Chinese are across the hills, they will walk in. The monsoon is going to start up any time. Bangladesh will become like an ocean. None of the rivers will be crossable. It will be a swamp. My army is spread all over the place. I can't mobilize them. It's your harvest time. You will not give me trains. You will not give me road space. So Indira Gandhi got convinced, and she said, okay, Sam, do it as you want, and I want victory. He said, victory is assured, madam, don't worry. So that was the state of morale of the Indian Armed Forces at the time. A military commander taking the reins in his hands and telling the Prime Minister that I am not ready for the war was a major change than what happened in 1962, which I fought also. In 1962, we were pliable. We were told what to do. The Prime Minister, the Defense Minister played with the armed forces. We were ill-equipped, ill-armed, ill-dressed. And then we fought the war. It was a slap on our cheeks. So therefore, lessons learned from 1962. Commanders have to be stern. Commanders have got to tell the truth. The commanders have got to take the politicians with them. Then only the success can be achieved. That we attribute to Sam Manaksha, which we can never forget. Fine. What are the role that I play? Gentlemen, after we achieved complete air superiority, and also our Navy did a marvelous job of encircling the entire Pakistan Navy and the entire western sector, bottled them up. Karachi was bombed. The refineries to supply oil to the ships was all burnt, and they completely burnt for the next week or so. So there was no supply of oil for Pakistan, and there was a complete encirclement of the Arabian Sea. In the meanwhile, our aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, stealthily moved to the eastern sector and landed, positioned itself in Sylhet, Chittagong area. The Air Force, after having suffered initial losses in the western sector, decimated. I use the word decimated. The word is very, very strong. Others may not like it, but it's a fact. You may have any type of aircraft, but if you can't take off, and if it is going to be lying in the hangars, what's the point in you saying I've got a huge air force? The Air Force of East Pakistan was grounded. The two airports were all pounded, and no aircraft could take over. Forget about aircraft, even there was no space for a helicopter to land. You would see in some of the photographs that I sent earlier, I was driving a jeep, Pakistani jeep, after I entered Dhaka, in the airfields, and I had to go this zigzag. How can an aircraft ever land? And that also jet aircraft. So therefore, Indian Army functioned with sheer impunity. We were not bothered about Pakistani Air Force because they could not strap us. They could not interfere. We had heliborne operations, helicopters, and paratroopers landing close to Dhaka. Pakistan could do nothing. They had the concept of fortress defense. In other words, all the entry points to Bangladesh were heavily armed. Ammunition was stopped. But we adopted a very fine technique. The Vietnamese technique and the Chinese technique. Bypass these strong points. Don't go and strike your head on the strong points. Bypass them. Go behind. Strike him where he's weakest. Do it when he's least expecting. Or surprising. Stealth. Speed. All were our mottos. Now I'll come down to my action. On the 4th of December, I would say, we were totally disappointed. Myself, I was totally disappointed. Because I was not sent to Dhaka side, I was sent to the Chinese side. I went to Bhutan and guarded all the passes to prevent the Chinese intrusion into us, to choke us. So that is a defensive technology, and that is a defensive strategy. So therefore, I was disappointed. My God, I'm missing all the opportunity. But anyway, God smiled on my prayer, and on the 7th of December, I get a news from my CEO Krish, get ready. Your prayers are being answered. You will mobilize, show a facade to the Chinese. Just leave minimum forces there and pull out at night. I pulled out in double quick time. I told my boys, here's an opportunity, God given. Let's take it. My boys are all absolutely keyed up. It's a sharp Kasawa, Maza aa gaya, that sort of thing there. So therefore, the morale of my troops was so high, they were itching to have a confrontation. Now, 7th of December, and if you know the manner in which we moved in, you would be surprised. We just virtually ran one of those marathons, you can say, 40 kilometers, 30 kilometers, from Bhutan to the base. They ran. And then vehicles were lined up there. Vehicles were lined up. They were already armed, equipped. So we boarded the aircraft, boarded the vehicles. Was now the first obstacle. Brahmaputra River. I would call it Brahmaputra Ocean. What a huge river it is. You can't see the other side at all. Such a huge river. We had to cross it. And in broad daylight. How to do it? I told you the Air Force had come to our rescue. Complete immunity, ladies and gentlemen. We crossed the Brahmaputra River in broad daylight in small boats. Bangladeshis taking us Ashun Boshun. If some of you understand Bengali, you know what I mean. Come on, sit down. We'll take you free across. Ashun Boshun. So we crossed the river. My company was the leading company. We crossed the Brahmaputra River, and by 8, I was on the other side. Well, a little bit of, we were to be re-equipped, recharged. Some bit of a rest is also required. So on the 9th, 10th, we wanted orders, where to go. In the meanwhile, Indian Armed Forces had dropped in paratroopers in an area called Tangail. Tangail, for your information, is very famous for its saris. The ladies might be interested to know. Tangail saris are very smooth, soft, and durable saris. Well, I bought one when I came back for my wife. Well, Tangail saris to be now left apart. When we reached Tangail by 11th, 12th, all the time walking, I belong to the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, an infantry unit. We do not have the luxury of going by jeeps or helicopters and nothing there. We walk it or doubled up. We don't fear 40 kilometers, 30 kilometers of jujubi, as you say in Tamil. We just walked. We walked and reached Tangail. And what do we find? Another headache. The treating Pakistanis, say clever, of course not. We expected it. We would have done the same probably. Demolished the bridge across the Turag River. Lest we cross. Or war gaming. But when you've got the enemy right in front of you and you want to catch him by the scruff of his neck and prevent him from re-establishing Dhaka, it became a race to Dhaka. Who will reach Dhaka first? Several formations were trying their best how to reach Dhaka. At that time, I was asked, earlier, the previous commander, there are types of people who are cautious. They are not probably foolhardy like me. There is a very thin line between bravery and foolhardy. You know that? Well, people call me foolhardy because at that time I did not know what danger was. I was bubbling. I was 32 years old, young guy. said, nothing doing. I have got an opportunity from heaven. I will go. I volunteer. The task was to go behind the enemy lines, lay an ambush and a roadblock to prevent the enemy from going from Jaidepur, which is the ordnance factory, producing under the Chinese. Right? The Chinese had built that factory for them, building arms, equipment, ammunition, clothing, everything, to supply to Dhaka, which is 34 kilometers away, by road, by train. If he had taken all that things at Dhaka, probably our mission would have been delayed. So my action was to prevent him from doing this. What should I do? Stealth, secrecy, speed. These three things are essential. I cannot tell that I am going to be behind you. So I have to go in a very, very cautious manner. My troops, I must compliment them because they rely on my knowledge, my competence and my bravery. They said, "Sir, aap jahan jayenge, hum jayenge aapke saath." So I said, okay, if that be the case, open out all your belongings. Throw away all the damn cigarettes that you guys are carrying. Because cigarettes, matchboxes, they give away your position. If one guy sneezes or if one guy smokes or lights a cigarette, the whole game is out. I can't risk my 90 people whom I'm infiltrating inside enemy territory to be shot by the enemy because they are found out. So I told them very categorically, if any one of you by mistake sneezes, coughs, or lights a cigarette, the enemy may not shoot you, but I will shoot. So that is the caution that I imposed. So everyone said, okay, sir, nahi karenge. So everyone threw the damn cigarettes and everything there in the blue shelf. Now, after having searched and boosting up the morale, I said, all right, I wouldn't know, I can't guarantee you how many of you will come back, whether I will come back or not. But we will not come back empty-handed. We will not cause maximum damage and prevent them from going to Dhaka. That is my mission. And I had nothing except the Lord's sky and the stars under the dark night. No air photographs, no maps. I had only two small young Bangladeshi boys called Mukti Bahini, who were my guides. They told me, "Sab hum le jayega." I hope my Hindi is understandable to most of you. That means I will take this up. Now I can't rely on these two youngsters to lead me on to a place where I have to lay a technical ambush. Now, I wanted to know where the enemy is and how the road alignment is. I will give you a small incident what happens. Pakistanis were no pushovers, let me tell you. They were also trained by the same Britishers as we were trained. So their knowledge cannot be underestimated. So they suspected that some activity can take place. To prevent that, they used to have a jeep-mounted machine gun with a searchlight, throwing the searchlight like this. And anywhere they found suspicious movement, noise, light, they would let go of the machine gun. I escaped 2 bursts. And what do you think I did? Fell flat on the right shoes. From top to bottom, I was in slush. Good camouflage, I would say. Who was bothered about, at that time, powder and scent and aftershave lotions, etc.? Slush. Now, by that jeep movement, I could find out that that is the alignment of the road. going to Dhaka. Am I telling you something like Alistair McLean stories? Yes, it is like that only. When I found out approximate distance, it would be an estimation. I came to know that it is about 6 to 7 kilometers. I had only walked 4 kilometers. Now, to go along the berms of these rice fields was a tricky matter. Several of us fell down, several of us had to get up, etc., etc. Notwithstanding that, we reached the road around 2 o'clock at night. And how to cross the road? We have to slush. Nowhere in the books or in the institutions we were taught how to cross the road without giving ourselves away. So what did we do? Improvisation. That's where your quick brain works. Take out our raincoats, spread it on the road. Step, hop, jump, hop, step, jump. Other side of the road. 90 of us crossed the road, pulled the raincoat back with no slush marks on the road. We were all improvisation, which at the last minute, at the leader, I'm leading them. If I had given them away, I would have killed myself for having let them down, because they are relying on my competence. Okay. My commanding officer was Colonel Nair, a Malayali. He was very impatient and he was worried also. He said, I have sent this fellow Krish ahead without giving him any assistance and asked him to rely on himself. He told me that I will also join you. I could have spoken to you on a wireless because the Pakistan would have intercepted it. They would have come to know, hey, who the hell are these guys? So I had to adopt another technique. The technique was, I spoke to them in my lingo, Tamil and Malayalam. The Pakistani can hear the damn thing and they can't make out any damn thing out of it. I told them, then Nair asked me, get up, क्या भरता है? अरे सारे पारा क्या भरे So I told them in Malayalam and Tamil and all those things there to hold it, damn it, hold it. I didn't say damn it, I said hold it, sir. It was my commanding officer. So to cut the story short, the experience that I had encountered of falling down the rice fields, etc., I avoided my main body not to suffer the same problem. So we took them by a route, positioned them correctly, and I told them, you take care of the Dhaka side, I will take care of the Jaipur side. So we led an ambush. By 4 o'clock, we were ready. When they said we were ready, I meant tactically we were ready to receive the armed army from Dhaka, rather army from Jaipur with their vehicles. Early morning at 6 o'clock, my first catch, they walked into the ambush, poor chaps. They just walked in. Well, I don't want to be gory. The vehicles were all punctured, the bullets all captured, zigzag. Those people who were there, they were all Mazdoors, local Mazdoors from the Pakistani, Bangladesh. I caught out of them that I did not trash them, they themselves gave out all the information without any, I didn't trash them. They said, Saab, if the people are coming there to have if their biceps this time they are coming, you be ready, there are 2 tanks, etc., etc. They gave all the information. So I said, all right, and share a little bit of shakapara with them, which we carry as emergency rations. Now, in the meanwhile, when the 6 vehicles did not reach Dhaka, and there was some gunfire heard, the Pakistanis were, the areas went up. A jeep with a captain for the Pakistan Army rushed to find out what the hell is happening. And he also got poor chap, Captain Nawaz Sharif Khan, fell to my bullets. I'm sorry to say, I don't want to say I'm either a killer, but I had to. I took his passport, his 2 bullets, to say that it's approved, and kept it as my memento. If the time permitting, I will narrate another story later on, but now let me stick on to this main aspect. Gentlemen, now daylight. Eastern side, sunrise is very early. By about 5:30, 6 o'clock, it is broad daylight almost. Now my job is out. I am in the open, in the rice fields. And Pakistanis know very well that there is some skirmishes going on. They suspected Mukti Bahini. They didn't expect regular Indian army to come behind them and lay an ambush and roadblock for them. So anyway, they were, with that overconfidence, they came with the tanks. Well, they got shot up. My vehicle, which I had captured en route, contained full of ammunition. To put in a technical point, the medium machine gun has also got 1 round amongst the 5 in a belt, an incendiary, that means anything that can cause fire. So I fired the medium machine gun myself on those standing vehicles, and there was a huge Diwali explosion. Pakistanis were wonderstruck, what the hell is happening? They were abusing, they were shouting, but they were confused. They dismounted, got themselves more casualties because I had already prepared an ambush for them. So, thrice they attacked. How would you like to feel if you are all thinking that you are sitting in a trench, covered up to your chest level, you are under the ground, your neck is out, your chest is out, head is out, and you've got a weapon in your hand? They are called shallow trenches because we did not have the time to dig full trenches. We were all in shallow trenches. In a situation, broad daylight, tanks daily, and he's shouting Allah Akbar and charging at you at a range of 300 yards, 400 yards. With belts out, you would have dirtied your pants, that's all I can say. Well, we withstood 3 such attacks. All because I told that I will not allow any one of you to leave this place. If any one of you tries to leave, I will shoot instead of making you shoot me. So, relying on my leadership, we fought with our backs to the wall. Around 3 o'clock, I get an information on the radio from my commanding officer to say indications are the day is now 15, 16 December. Something happening in Dhaka. Indian government has negotiated with the Pakistanis to surrender in East Pakistan. Some negotiations are going on. Probably the military junta there decided to surrender. So therefore the message said, persuade the enemy to surrender. I got wild. That is the first time that I got wild on the radio set. He said, sir, I didn't think I would play marbles with them. That you are asking me to surrender, persuade them to surrender. I'm having a full range battle. They have attacked me 3 times. He said, Krishna, don't get excited. There's something happening in Dhaka. Then I got the hint. If that thing is happening in Dhaka, I might as well play the game along with them. So I took all the expended ammunition boxes, smashed them, made a megaphone out of that, started announcing Hindi, English, Punjabi, Pakistan के जवानों, आप लोग हथियार नीचे डालो और सरेंडर कर जाओ, तुम्हारे घेर लिया हमने, we have surrounded you, there's a brigade around you, like that, all sorts of crap they spoke, telling lies by the dozen. We were 93 of us, and I said, we are a brigade. So anyway, to cut the story short, the Pakistanis one by one started surrendering, formed into circles, they threw their weapons. And I had a problem because I did not have enough troops to guard them. So I passed a message saying that you better send somebody to look after them so that they don't create funny noises. So I told them that any one of you making any faulty movements, my machine gun is still on. So I was ruthless. So again, I will cut the story short. I lost two of my men, but in war, it happens. Havildar Mohinder Singh, he fell on my trench. Absolutely, with a bullet wound in his chest. Don't think I'm heartless. I had to actually do this and eject his body out. Because if I did not do that, that danger to my other 90 people. So therefore, I can take care of him. Coach, I will dead in any case. I can show him all the respect later. But now I have to do this. And one more boy died in that Navy. I left him there also. Now I was going there. When I was going there, I forgot to wear my helmet, which is to protect my head from enemy bullets. This is what I want to call it camaraderie in the armed forces. My Sahayak or my buddy gets up from his trench, runs to the open battlefield. He says, with the helmet in his hand, he says, "Kahan ja raha hai sala?" Look at that. Anxiety of this. That his commander is going, company commander, is going without his helmet. So he comes and slaps the helmet in my head. I still carry the mark. Believe it or not, it's a fact. The moment he put the helmet on my head and he sat down, zoom, one bullet came, knocked my helmet out and caused a huge scratch in my head. Luckily, the bullets did not hit my body. Now today, if I owe my life and I'm standing before you and giving a talk to you, it's because the Kakaram, rifleman, Lance Naik Kakaram, one striper, saved me. I consider him as my savior. If I'm laughing alive, ticking, it is because of Kakaram saved me. That is why I dedicated the medal that I'm wearing to him. And long after the war was over, in 2014, I retired, everybody else had retired. I go to the same place where the battalion is now located, Fazilka, in the western sector. They make much of me. They call me as a VIP, chief guest, etc. And there, the Kakaram sitting somewhere in the crowd, he comes running to me and embraces me. He says, "Sir, yes, you. My two grandchildren, my grandsons, who are sitting with me in the dais." He said, "Tata, who is this?" I said, "Damn it, he's Kakaram, the boy. If your Tata is alive today, it is because of this boy, Kakaram." He embraced me. Look at the camaraderie. He remembers me after so many years. Now, a wartime acquaintance is a lifelong association. You can never forget such an association. Right. The war was over. They surrendered. We all moved to Dhaka. With the joys, Bangla, joy, Bangla. That is the way the people were shouting in the streets. Our convoy is halted. We defended. Then, therefore, they are so grateful to you. I will tell subsequently later on what happened in Dhaka at the surrender ceremony. In surrender ceremony, You'll be ashamed to hear that Indian army, which is the victorious army, had to take a surrender 93,000 people, all ranks of Pakistanis, who, when they brought their weapons, did not keep them down or revered it as we do. They threw the weapons because they were let down. The Chinese had let them down, the Americans had let them down, the Britishers had let them down, because everybody walked off. So they threw the weapons. And one of the interviews that was carried out by BBC asked me a question, the correspondent. Major, are you from the victorious army or from the vanquished army? I was equally blunt. I said, what do you think I look like? He was absolutely astonished that somebody is replying. So he said, sir, you're wearing your terracotts and your medals, no? You must be from the Indian army. I said, precisely. He said, sir, in that case, why have we allowed these Pakistanis to carry weapons? And you're not carrying any weapons. I said, do you know, Mr. So-and-so, that if I don't allow the Pakistanis to carry their weapons, the local Bangladeshis would lynch them. To prevent that on humanitarian grounds. We have allowed them to carry weapons. And the same Bangladesh people are so fond of us that they will carry us in their shoulders. More than 50 years have lapsed after the war was over. Today, you know what the development of Bangladesh is. Pitiable. We are even questioned. Indian army, you fought. Their prime minister is in our country. Deposed. I will narrate you a small incident when we were called, my wife, my late wife, I would say, and I went to Dhaka at their invitation to celebrate the anniversary of victory. They made us all VIPs, not very Radha Pasanga, very important questions. Okay? There, the same Prime Minister was there as the head of the government. She asked many people standing, Indian Army officers standing there. He said, Major, when did you last visit Dhaka? I smilingly told her, Madam, I didn't visit Dhaka, I entered Dhaka. I said, last time I entered Dhaka, I had a stun gun in my hand. Today, you have permitted me to bring my wife, and I'm holding my wife's hand today. You know what she said? Again, humorous. She said, Major, the weapon that you were carrying at that time, it was not as potent as the hand that you are now holding. I must say, a quick party, but a welcome one, and I laughed it off. It came out in the Dhaka newspaper that Indian Army veteran chats the Bangladesh Prime Minister. Now, all these things, ladies and gentlemen, to cut the story short, to wind up, because I'm now, I think, reaching the end of my talk. A play has been staged in English as well as in Tamil. I don't know how many of you have seen the play Operation 1971, which is a beautiful play that has been enacted by professionals, actors. Some of them are here. They staged a Tamil play for the local audience. Now, I would very strongly recommend you have the opportunity to see that play, see it. It's a great detail what the atrocities were committed, how realistically they are showing the crossing the river, the Turek River, how the refugees came, how the Indian army fought, etc., in a stage. Very well depicted. My compliments to them. The play is being organized by a theatre group called Theatre CADD. And if you may like to elevate yourself slightly, he is one of the principal actors. And very much he acted beautifully, realistically. And I would say the person who played my part did a better job than what I am doing now. So therefore, my recommendation, if you have got the time, inclination, then please do and see the play. You will like it. Gentlemen, ladies, my talk is over. Just to deviate from the normal humdrum of entrepreneurship and all your inputs for various things, I am now open to questions, except political. If there is anybody who wants to know, I am available. How much time is available for me, sir? As long as they want to be here. My time is going to 5:25. 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, that's it.
What's going on in Bangladesh now?
What's going on in Bangladesh now? Tragic. Tragic, sir. Very tragic. Some political interference is going on. I do not stop at that. Who, why, how, I will not dwell. I am being asked, did you fight? Did you go there? I said, I got it for what? Peanuts. The greatest honor that I got, sir, apart from the beef checker which the President of India gave to me, was from a Pakistani. You know, I said I lost 2 of my men. And I had to bury them, cremate them, depending on their religion. One was a Sikh boy, cremation. Another one was a Hindu boy, I had to cremate him again. I, as a company commander in the field, is their father, mother, Panditji, everything. I cremated them. You know my religion. I cremated them. The Pakistanis were watching. Their dead bodies were lying strewn all over the place. They did nothing. I asked them, Major, I called their company commander. I said, Major, come here. I have done my job as a company commander. What are you going to do about your people? In another 2 hours' time, it's going to become dark and the jackals will hound them. Do you want that to happen to your jawans who fought for you? You know, he sarcastically asked me, Major, look at the arrogance. I have no weapons. I have no implements. I lost my temper. I told them, because there are ladies here, I don't want to use the adjective that I used. I called him a bravo. No, you can make out what I meant. I told them, I said, if I were you, young man, I would have started clawing with my damn nails to start digging. You have got no will. Your men will not follow it. You know what the junior commissioned officers of theirs, their junior commissioned officer tells me? He says, sir, आप जैसे ऑफिसर हमारे इंडियन आर्मी में होते हैं, पाकिस्तान आर्मी में होते हैं, हम कभी भी नहीं हारते साहब. हमारे पास, they said, if we had officers with your caliber and your temperament, we would have never lost. Look at him, he's calling us kutta. They call him, Oi kutte, तुम्हारा दुश्मन तुम्हारे लिए कबर खोद रहा है. Look at the insults that they keep in front of the Indian army. That is the state of morale. And today, the same people who fought shoulder to shoulder, lifted me on their shoulder, pinned the Bangladesh. I normally wear that Bangladesh badge also here. I'm not wearing it because they are disowning the Indian Army. I said, I will not give you respect. I don't wear that anymore. That's what unfortunate. Now, one of the WhatsApp University messages that has come, which says Pakistanis have landed their aircrafts, huge aircraft, a contingent of 120, 150 people with equipment in Chittagong. And Indian Army is not lagging behind. We have landed in Burma. We are also cautious. We are aware of their motives. They want to dominate the Bay of Bengal area, to keep an eye on India, Bangladesh, and also China. So we are doing that. If that is what is happening, you want me to tell you, that's what. Not reliable information, WhatsApp University. Yeah.
Do you think India will ever see another war like this and are we ready?
54 years ago, we fought a conventional war. Few months ago, we fought Operation Sindoor. What a tremendous difference between that war and this war. What a technology war. The infantry, which is supposed to be the forerunners of all victory, because we carry the bayonet to capture and kill the enemy, hand-to-hand combat. Now, we have bombs, missiles, all these things that doing the job. The infantry was watching with silence when do we go to Lahore and take over, because everything would have been waste. That is the difference in the warfare. Technically. Our relevance will not die, because you may throw an atom bomb, hydrogen bomb, as Rahul Gandhi has threatened that hydrogen bomb will be, but you will have to send the infantry all the way. So our role as infantrymen, day around, day per stop, without pity, without remorse, and without waiting for anybody else.
Thank you very much, Colonel. With your permission, I would like to play a video depicting the play that you talked about.
Yeah, you are welcome.
We need to go to war today.
அந்த தண்ணில முதல்ல கால் வைக்கிறதும் நான் தான். எனிமி டெரிட்டரியில முதல்ல கால் வைக்கிறதும் நானா தான் இருப்பேன்.
உண்மையான தேசப்பற்று நம்ம நாட்டு மேல நாம வைக்கிற அன்பும் அந்த நாட்டுல இருக்க சக மக்கள் மேல வைக்கிற அன்பும் தான்.
என்னோட ஆர்மி இங்க இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் இது ஈஸ்ட் பாகிஸ்தான் தான்.
இந்த வார் நடக்கும். எப்போ எப்படிங்கிற விஷயத்தை என்கிட்ட விட்டுரு.
இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் வருஷத்துல இவனையும் இந்தியன் ஆர்மிக்கு அனுப்பி வச்சிடுவேன். இந்த தாய்மொழியை பேசக்கூடாது பழகக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு நீங்க யாரா?
பாரத் மாதா கி
If there are no more questions, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. May God bless you. Hear me. I hope you all like it.
Thank you. I want to say, but we cannot leave you without a felicitation. So I'm going to ask our chairman to come and kind of felicitate.